Good morning everybody, this is day 4 of Inktober on this channel and today the word is underwater. Now it's a little bit frustrating because I lost the footage of me drawing these fish, so I'm sorry you don't get to see me try and battle the brush pen today, but I will use it again at some point this month if I dare. So it'll hopefully come up later. I wanted to draw the fish first because I was planning on making them really contrast with the background structure that I had planned. So I wanted them to be really curvy and natural and organic shape because I knew that they were going to end up being in the foreground of this piece. And I thought the brush pen would be a good tool to do that. When I initially read the word underwater, I immediately began thinking of fantasy, which isn't the usual for me. I began thinking about mermaids and just like Atlantis and that kind of thing. And I was thinking of this whole fantasy illustration at first. I have for a while wanted to do a piece of like a mermaid that isn't made of like an obvious fish. Like doing like shark mermaids or something, I don't know. I'm gonna go back to that idea because it's not where I went in this piece, but it might be in the future. Tell me if you'd be interested in that. And then I was thinking, well, maybe you go on a pattern piece again like you did yesterday. Maybe go and do something really abstract like sea foam on a beach. But as I was looking at images of that and like trying to focus on the colours and how I could draw it, I began thinking this would be more interesting as an overlay on an illustration than I think it would be on its own. And it kind of took me all the way back to the Atlantis idea. I'm going around in circles. I decided instead of doing this Atlantis, just fantasy and kind of going down almost like the trope of what Atlantis would look like, how about make a piece of architecture that you would never put underwater and then subvert it against the ocean and let's see how that looks. As I continued drawing, I felt more and more like I was peeking through something and looking at this scene from afar, and so I decided to try and add something closer to the foreground so that it was almost as if the viewer was peering out on this scene. And so I added reeds whilst the water downings were still drying so that they would fan out in that background and make them almost look blurred as if they were, you know, very close to the camera. I think this also gave the idea of like the tower block sinking into a much darker, deeper part of the ocean. If I did it again, I mean there were so many ideas going on with this piece. Could argue get a little bit over detailed. Did probably push the half an hour boundary I set myself originally. I easily spent 40 minutes on this piece, but I am really happy with it. You know, I especially like how the pattern went on the tower block itself. I was really happy with how that looked. Any improvements? I would say because I didn't plan for the top of the building to almost be breaking the surface of the water, the perspective on the fish's tail is a little bit incorrect. I imagine that fish's tail on the top right would be breaking through the water. Now I know I'm probably being quite picky, but again it's a problem that I mentioned a couple of Inktober days ago of me not planning my composition very well beforehand. Now some of that is a little bit because I'm only spending half an hour on these pieces, but I think if I don't stay picky then I will continue to make mistakes like this. Anyway, I thought it might be interesting if you like the piece to let me ruin it for you by pointing out something that you'll never not be able to see now. I am actually really happy with this piece. I am only joking a little bit. If you would like to send me a message or tell me your thoughts, I'd really like to hear them. If not, that's it for day 4. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 5.